Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 24th of October. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have Resolute Mining, Baby Bunting, Develop Global, Count Plus and Beforepay. So if you have a request, please send it through. Make sure you've signed up to the free newsletter, but our best recommendations come out every Tuesday in the Dynamic Investor Report. So make sure you're getting that report. But if you do enjoy these videos, we'd love you to share them on social media or even leave us a review. Our main business is in portfolio management. So if you'd like our personal help in managing your share portfolio, please give me a call. And all the advice here is general only. So we've got the weekly chart here of Resolute. This is one that we've tipped before in the Dynamic Investor breakout. Sort of an initial breakout here and then breakouts along the way. It's also one that we've bought for our management clients, so doing really well. You could see the trend here, still looking really good. Obviously it's a bit vertical in the short term, but naturally you'd get a bit of cooling off. I'd just expect to buy it on a dip. I mean, possibly you've got, pull back towards, just under 85 cents and potentially a bounce off. That's the next buy signal. Baby Bunting, if we start off with a weekly chart, longer term, we've got this downtrend. Perhaps it's starting to bottom out here. We've got this sort of higher low. So we've got that low there, we've got a higher low and it's bounced off that nicely. Just hasn't made a higher high. So we've got this sort of corrective pattern here, bounced. We need to see that higher high. So, shorter term it's, going up quite nicely. But just moving back to this weekly, as we could see, it's going to encounter some resistance here and ultimately it needs to break that. Okay, DVP. So we could see that, we've had this pullback here, but it does appear to be breaking downtrend. So, firstly, if we look at sort of a trend line there, it's just broken out. If we're looking at sort of the bounce here, and has it taken out that recent high? It has. So it's essentially, it looks like it's trying to break the downtrend. It's coming back to retest that sort of breakout zone. So possibly this is a buy here, sort of on the breakout and retest. The buy, you could run a pretty tight stop under this line, but if it does hold on to these levels, then I think the next stop would be up here near $3. Okay, Count Plus, so on the weekly, we've got the downtrend, still making, the lower lows, lower highs, shorter term. Potentially we've got this sort of ascending triangle where it looks like it's, a break above here and it could rally, but again, if we move back to the weekly chart, it's coming up to, it's a bit of resistance now, plus obviously that recent high is going to give it some resistance. So short term, little upside break, it'll go for a run, but I don't think it'll get very far before it hits resistance again. Okay, and Beforepay, see it listed here a couple of years ago, didn't do too well straight away, but it has been making, generally making these sort of higher lows. Possibly we've got, the formation of a base where it's recently broken out of that base and now has come back to do a retest. So we can see the retest bounce, bit of an uptick in volume. So it looks like a successful retest. The only problem is the volumes are very low overall. Looking down here, it's only, sometimes it doesn't even trade $100,000 in a day. So because of those low volumes, it could be high risk, meaning if few investors decide to sell, it can move pretty quickly. But yeah, just sort of looking at a weekly chart, it does look like overall it's wanting to improve from here. Okay, well that's all for this week. If you have a request, send it through and we'll try to cover it next Thursday.